Hey guys, it's Nadia from LiaDia Designs and I'm back with another tutorial. Today we're making another clock, but we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be using a stencil for the design. So this is the stencil here that I got off Amazon. It's part of a pack of 12 designs, so this is just one of them. And I had it upside down. So there you go. That's the design we want to put in the center of our clock. And we're going to be using molding paste and mica powders to create the colors and the designs. But before we do that, we needed to pour a resin layer on our board. So this is our wooden cradle board. And as you can see, I didn't do a great taping job, but I did pour a layer of resin with some glitter mica powder on it. And I let that cure overnight. So that is all set. And so that'll be our base. And like I said, we're going to be using some mica powders. These ones are from Meyspring. And I picked 3 different colors, and you're going to be mixing that with molding paste. So the molding paste I'm using today is from Liquitex. So this is a flexible molding paste. Any type will do. I just had this one, so I wanted to work with that. So there we go. So now that we have everything sorted out, we can get started. Okay, so the first thing we need to do to get started is we need to find the center of our clock so that we can mark that and we know where to place our stencil. So this is a 12-inch cradle board that we're going to be using. So we just need to find the center. So at 6 inches, we'll just mark that on the horizontal and on the vertical. So luckily, I had a really good average there. So I got that all sorted, and I just used a washable marker for the to just mark the spot. And now we can go in and place our stencil where we want. So we'll just center it. And then what we'll need to do is just tape it down in place. So I'll be taping down each side with just Scotch tape just to kind of hold it. So just make sure we don't move it while we're trying to tape it down. So there we go. So that's one side. And we'll do the same thing on each side. And the other thing that we're going to do as well is you can see on the corners, there's extra designs around the edges there. And I don't want to use those today just because I'm only going to be using the center part. And when I'm spreading the molding paste, I don't want it to bleed over onto those other designs. So I'm going to be covering that with tape as well, just to kind of block that so we don't accidentally get molding paste there. So I'm covering those up. And this also will help the stencil stay in place as well, just because it's actually holding it to the top of the board as well. So there we go. So now that we have our stencil in place, we can get our molding paste ready. All right, so we'll move the board out of the way, and I'm going to be using this piece of acetate as kind of like my palette. So we'll just take sections of this molding paste, and we're going to be using 3 different colors, so we'll need 3 areas for mixing. And what we'll be doing is we'll need to just take a little bit of mica for each, and then gently, better than I'm doing here, gently mix it because the mica powder will want to fly around. So we just want to gently mix it in, and just mix it for about a minute. So this way we're really getting that mica powder fully incorporated into the molding paste. And as you can see, the color is not going to be an exact match just because, again, this molding medium is it's opaque white, so it is going to lighten the mica. It will darken as it dries, but it won't get to the exact same color that's in the pot. Because the mica powder is going to look different in the molding paste than it does in the jar, you definitely want to do some test pieces just to kind of just test it out with a little bit of the molding paste and let it dry and see if it's drying the way that you like into a color that you like. So I have already done that, and I chose these three colors based on that. So just keep that in mind that it is going to be a little bit different. Don't expect it to be an exact match to what is in the bottle. It's very different using molding medium compared to resin or acrylics. So or even with varnish, like it's completely different. So we just need to keep that in mind. Okay, so we're ready to get started, and what we're going to do is just take sections of the colors that we want and we're going to place them down on the stencil, just really lightly spreading it on top. We don't need to push down hard or anything. We're not trying to get the molding paste to go under the stencil, so we're just kind of laying it on top. And I'm going to want to blend these three colors together. So I'm going to first kind of put down areas where I want to start with each of the colors, kind of their own little sections. But overall, this is going to be a very blended piece. So, and we're only going to be worried about what it looks like on the top most surface, because even if I'm putting down foundation layers here, you're not really going to see them. They're just more to kind of get the molding paste onto this, into the stencil and onto the clock base. So just going to go in and, like I said, we're going to be mixing as we go. I'm not too worried about the colors blending at this point because that's going to be the end result anyway. So we'll go in and just keep adding our molding paste, and we want to work quickly as well because the molding paste will start to dry. Like it is pretty quick drying. You probably have a few, about 10 minutes or so to work here, but we don't want to leave it too long because see how beautiful, how shiny and spreadable it is. That will start to change as the more air that is in contact with, the more it starts to dry. So we're going to go in and continue to just kind of layer and blend. And again, I want it to have this kind of a look where we have streaks in the molding paste and the colors are blended but not fully blended. Like we can still distinctly see some of the colors. So I'm going to go in and finish up with that. All right, and once we're done here, then we'll be ready to remove the tape and see the results. All right, so we're ready to remove our stencil. There we go, gently, gently. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy with how this turned out. It's so pretty. Look at that. Okay, so before we move on, it's really important to know how to clean your stencil and to do it while the molding paste is still wet because we don't want to let the molding paste dry. It'll become a lot more difficult to clean our stencil once we do that and might actually damage the stencil as well. So what we're going to do is just use our palette knife and we're just going to scrape off all the excess. And then you'll just need to read the instructions for your medium to know what you need to clean it with. So for molding paste, we just need water. So I'm going to go with the paper towel and just basically wash the rest of the stencil. And we'll need to do this on both sides. So I'm just going to finish tidying up this, and then we're ready to go on to the next step. Okay, so while we were cleaning up our stencil, something kind of fell on the design and it damaged it a little bit. So we're going to go in and try to fix that up. So what we're going to do is put a little bit of water on our palette knife and add that to the top of the molding paste. And that just kind of, allows us to go back in and smooth it out from any of the damage that was done. It's not perfect, but it'll have to do. Okay, so the stencil alone is beautiful, and if you wanted to just stop there and use that as your design for your clock, you absolutely could do that. It would definitely look really nice like that. But you guys know me, and I have to go always a little bit extra with everything that I do. So I wanted to go in and add some hand-painted designs to the stencil, just kind of around it and a little bit in between, just to give a little bit of an extra look. Those of you who do any kind of dot art, with acrylic paints, this is another opportunity for you to do that here as well. So anything you want to do to kind of add some more details is a great time to do that with this piece. Like I said, you can kind of really make your stencil unique by doing this. Okay, so I've placed in the numbers. These are adhesive, so you can just kind of place them down where you like. So there's a couple of ways that we can finish our clock, but either way, we need to let the molding paste and the paint fully dry. So that's going to take a few hours, so we'll do that first. So here's my finished clock. As you can see, I decided not to add a resin top coat to it just because I'm completely in love with the contrast between the sparkly, shiny resin background and the matte finish of the molding paste on top. I love it so much. I can't, it's amazing. And if I had added a resin top coat to this, I would have lost that look a little bit. So I decided not to do that, but you definitely can. And if you'd like to see the process of how to add your top coat as well as assembling the clock, I'm going to link my previous clock tutorial in the top corner of the screen here, as well as at the end of the video, so that you can see that process as well. And here is the final piece. I just can't tell you how happy I am with this. I just absolutely love that contrast of the glittery background and the textures of the molding paste with the colors and how they blend and the palette knife marks, just all of it. I love it so much. I hope you guys enjoyed it too and that it's something you want to try. Either way, let me know in the comments what you think, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks guys, take care, bye.